Alright guys, welcome to your 10th video, and in this video we are finally going to begin styling the main layout for our website. So let me go ahead, and the first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys the code on the register.php page. Basically we have the body, which everything that we see is in the body, and what we are going to be doing is the easiest way to center this web page is to stick everything inside a div. Now I'm going to name this div wrapper, and it's basically going to wrap all of the content, everything we see visually on our website. Now inside this wrapper is basically everything you see here. Now I'm going to be breaking up our website into a couple main pieces. The first piece is the main header. The main header is a space with the logo and the links at the top. This is, remember, the main header. After this, I'm going to have another area, which is the search bar. This area right here with where you can type in your keywords, and this little form right here and this button, this is the search area. Now I'm also going to have a left hand side, which is primarily going to be links, although it may differ whenever we make custom web pages, and also the right hand side. So your main content, the main thing that's going to change is on the right hand side, and this is pretty much the main section of your website. So again, the header, search area, left hand side, main section, and also the footer. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and style all these things. So let me hop back into main CSS, and the first thing I want to do is take care of the main wrapper. Now remember, the wrapper is the thing that surrounds your entire website. So why do I need to style this? Well, you will see. Wrapper, and I'm gonna first set the width of this box. Now the main width is going to determine the width. Man, that's kind of a hard word to say for your entire website. So I want my entire website to be 1,000 pixels wide. So 1,000 pixels, and what this is going to do is it's going to make a box that we put everything else into. So the next thing I want to do with this box is I want to set a margin. Got some phlegm in my throat. A margin, and let me go ahead and write this out before I explain it to you. 15 pixels. Oops. 15 pixels. Auto 0 pixels. Now this is shorthand, and it is crucial whenever trying to send your web page. And let me go ahead and explain to you guys what this means. Whenever you pass three sets of pixels in here, it says, okay, the top box, it's 15 pixels from the very top of your website. So if you look at our website, we can see the very topmost section is this message, all these links. You see that there's a little space between all this text and the top of the website, which is right here. There's actually that 15 pixels. So we're saying, okay, we don't want it butted right up against the top because that'll look weird. So give us 15 pixels on top. Now the second auto means left and right. So it says make it automatic, make it even for left and right. So basically the same amount on the left and the right hand side. And whenever you do that, it automatically gives the same number of pixels on the left and right hand side, therefore centering your website. Now the last one was 0 pixels, and that means 0 pixels from the bottom. So whenever we get to the bottom of our website, as you can see, if we highlight this, I know it has a white background, but this text is butted right up against the bottom of the website because, you know, we don't need any padding between the bottom of the website and our content. If we had a lot of padding, then it would be like, is there something supposed to be down there that they like deleted or something? So that's why you should always have a margin on top of about 15 pixels and no margin on bottom. So I know that I kind of talked about that one line of code for a while, but a lot of people don't understand how to center websites properly, and that's out. So the last thing I want to do is just text align left, and what this is going to do is essentially left align all the content inside this entire box. So there you go, and the next thing we need to do is take care of this main header. So like I said, we did the main box, the main website right now. The next step is to do the things inside the website. The first being this main header, which holds this logo and this little text toolbar on the top right hand side. Now the cool thing is, if I just go main underscore header, is that the only thing we really need to do is style the text on the upper right. And the logo, whenever we put it in place, since everything is left aligned, it's going to plop right where it needs to. The only thing we need to do is style this, so I decided to put that in a separate div tag. So for now, let me just go ahead and add a comment here. Space with logo and top links. And we don't need to style anything in there for now, but we want to leave a section just in case we need to come back. That's what we're going to call it. Now for those top right hand links, what I want those links to do is I want them to kind of break away from the styling that they inherited. By default, these should be on the left, but I obviously want them to appear on the right hand side away from the logo. So in order to do that, let me just go ahead and make a right align section. And what this is going to be is the first thing I want to do is I want to float this to the right, and I also want to text align right. So whenever we surround text in this, what it's going to do is it's going to take the entire box and move it over to the right, and it's also going to take the text that's inside that box and shift that to the right as well. So that is how you right align that div. And the last thing I'm going to be going over is now that we got our main header and our links taken care of, I want to go over this search area right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and name this, give it a name of, or an ID of top search. So top underscore search. And now the first thing I want to do is this. Check it out. Pay attention to what we have going on here. We have this blue search bar and we have this logo, which is basically inside the main header. But as you can see, there's a little bit of space between this logo and this little search bar. Now, partly because whenever I made this image, there's a little bit of white space on the bottom, but it's also because I added a margin right on top of this, because if the logo plops right on here, it's going to look like it's all one big thing, so you definitely want to add some space right there. So for the top search, I'm just going to give it a margin top of about 10 pixels. I don't think anything more than that will be necessary. And now what I want to do is I want to give it a padding. Now remember, the padding is pretty much the space from the elements inside, such as this box, and the border of your ID, or section as I should call it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So margin top, and give it a padding of this: 5 pixels, 0 pixels, 5 pixels, and 10 pixels. Now again, whenever we put 4 pixels inside either padding or margin, they go in this order: top, right, bottom, left. So the top and the bottom both are 5 pixels, so that's why we have a little bit of blue on the top and the bottom. And on the right hand side there are 0 pixels because it doesn't even reach that, so we're just going to leave that at default. But on the left hand side, as you can see, this last is the left, and we put 10 pixels from the left, because if this search bar was butted right up against the left, then it would kind of blend in with this background and it would just look really weird. So there you go. That's that. So the last thing we want to do before we get to the really cool stuff is display this as a block element, because we definitely don't want anything appearing on the left or right hand side. We don't want it in line. We want to make sure it's a block. Now what I'm going to do is, I like for this website to have a new age rounded corners look. Now if we just make everything square, then it's really going to look like the 1990s. This is web development in the 2012 era, so we want things that have rounded corners. Now hopefully you watched my HTML5 and CSS3 tutorials, but if you didn't, then I will mention this. There's been kind of an issue with rounded corners that CSS3 isn't fully adapted by all browsers, so we need to kind of tweak it to trick it into working on all browsers. So eventually it's going to be border radius, and you're just going to be able to go 7 pixels, and it's going to round your corners 7 pixels. The more pixels, the more round. However, Firefox uses something else. What they do is they use something called minus moz minus border radius 7 pixels. And aside from that, Safari, I believe it is, and Google Chrome use something called a WebKit. So whenever you type WebKit, this is going to make it compatible with Google Chrome, this is going to make it compatible with Firefox, and this is going to make it compatible with everything else like Internet Explorer. So there we go, we now have rounded corners that work on all browsers. So the last thing we want to do is this. We pretty much made this section, set it where we wanted it to be, we padded everything correctly and rounded the corners, but right now it's just a white section with no border. So what we want to do in order to give it this blue color is we need to set the background color. So background color, and the background color of this, that blue color that I just showed you guys, is 006699. So there you go, and with all that, that is all we have to do for that top search section for now. So basically we made a section that stretches across our entire website. It padded everything in nice, has a nice blue background. So in the next tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to be styling the main section, this left section, this main section on the right, and also the footer. And once we're done with that, we're ready to move on to something more exciting. So anyways, for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.